Hey Sainers, welcome back to episode 13 of the Saints Nation podcast. I'm joined here by Bevan Cooper, of course. No Carl Delina this week, unfortunately.
No.
But how good was last week
Oh,
getting
it was
Carl on?
awesome.
That was fun.
Really appreciate the support on the video as well. It's done really
Some
well.
great feedback.
Yep.
Everyone was up and about it, even Caroline Wilson, even though
Yeah.
she didn't credit us on 3AW.
Yes.
You'll be getting an invoice, Caroline.
Yeah, if you didn't see, Caroline Wilson said that on a podcast 24 hours ago. So it's not even like it was 3 days afterwards or something.
Yeah.
It was literally on the Friday morning after the Thursday. She somehow had it, which is ridiculous.
She must be an avid listener. Caro,
Really?
if you're listening,
Credit us.
credit us on Agenda Setters either tonight or last night because it's coming out on Tuesday.
They better. Surely.
Surely.
100% has to.
But yeah, be an exciting podcast. We'll do our round 16 review, of course. Our loss to Fremantle, and
we
we'll
looked
be
good for
we
three
did.
and a half
We
quarters.
did, and we'll be
Again,
previewing this week's game against the Hawks, and
Cooper's favourite.
it's a big game this week.
He is not my
Isn't it?
favourite. He's the opposite of my favourite. It's not even something to joke about.
The worst 26 we've ever had. Josh Battle.
It was 26 Nick Dalsano. He was good.
Yeah. Jeez, Dustano battle and then now the GOAT.
Yeah,
Taro.
the go.
Crazy one.
Should we start off with Tauru?
Might as well.
Actually, before an
Okay.
exciting announcement.
Oh, here we go. Go on.
If you guys would like to help support Saints Nation, we have now launched memberships on YouTube. They are $4 a month, and it will help us, get more interviews with Carl Delina. Potentially, we'll get Ross Lyon on if we give him enough money.
Round breaking if we get Ross Lyon on.
Mate, I would love a Ross Lyon interview.
We'd grill him.
So,
He'd grill us in
if
return.
you'd like to support us, help out with the podcast, that would be greatly appreciated, and it means I can pay these two money.
Also means we can go to the BNF.
Let's get into the game, and let's start off with the Flying Viking, Alix Tauru. What do we think, boys?
Ridiculously good.
He's one of our best. What would you say? I don't know. Best draftees since Riewoldt on potential wise. I reckon he's gonna be so good. I'm so keen to keep watching him.
He just looked comfortable out there. Like last week, he had a little bit of time where he just needed to adjust, and then he was flying for everything. Like there were times this week where you just saw him come out of nowhere, and like for a kid in his second game to be able to read the ball so well, and eventually he'll get to the point where he's marking it and be able to dominate games in that sense. But he's spoiling the ball, and it's going 20 metres over the line.
14 spoils, which is a Saints record. In his second ever game, broke a record
Most by anybody this season, or equal most by
equal
everyone
most.
this season.
It's ridiculous for this bloke to be doing this in his second game.
Yeah.
Like, I was always a fan of like players who could spoil the ball 20 metres, get it literally out of the area. He's doing it every time he's near the ball.
He flies for absolutely everything.
It's so good to watch.
Easily rising star nom this week.
I reckon when you've got Fremantle fans congratulating him and saying how good he was.
Who is the other candidate?
Jasper Algar.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
had
really
2
no
goals.
one. Zach Johnson, he had a bye this week.
nobody else equal to record.
Nah.
Is what I'm trying to.
Nah,
Yeah.
he's got a...
Unless
So I think he had 7 last week, had 14 this week. So we'll go for 21, 22 this week. Break the record.
Yep.
Record's 21.
Who's he?
He's doubled it. Maybe he doubles it again. Goes
Exactly.
28.
I'm so keen to see the whole St Kilda crowd this week with everybody with their Viking helmets on.
Yep.
His home debut finally gets to wear the actual Guernsey.
Bema's
compared
not
to the-
taking it off
I've worn it
since
every
Sunday.
day. Every day. Every day. It was my sister's 25th on Sunday. I wore it then anyway.
Okay. Nice.
Nice. Yep. No one else is doing that. And,
That's commitment.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But another man, bit of a breakout game, another debutant this year, Max Hall.
Easily his best game.
How great, especially the start.
So
He
clean.
involved in all 3 of our first
Yep.
scores. Great game from him, real breakout.
Kicked the goal from outside 50 as
Yeah.
well.
A very well needed goal too.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah. He's that like mid half forward that is that connecting piece.
Yeah.
We know how much we struggle going inside
Yeah.
50. We know we can move the ball, we can just never find a target inside 50. And hopefully, if he plays alongside Max King
Oh,
for just a game, I would love to see
one
that.
day.
Just a game.
Maybe you'd hope so.
The 2
Because
maxes.
he's got footy smarts.
Yep.
And that's what you want to see.
Yeah.
I think we said this, touched on this earlier when his earlier games. His footy IQ is so good. And he's so clean around the possession too.
Every
It's just-
time he gets the ball, you can just you don't have to worry
He's
about a turnover.
He's another player with so much potential, and I'm
Yep.
so keen to keep watching.
It'll be interesting to see if he can develop into an inside midfielder to the point where
Yep.
he was like what he was doing at Box Hill.
yeah.
Because imagine you have that clean player. That'd be
amazing.
perfect.
Well, it is surprising we haven't thrown him in there, considering our
Yeah.
midfield struggles
Mhm.
this year. I'll try and find.
Well, I think we're just trying to identify his role so far in a half forward because he's really excelling at it at the moment too. He's probably one of our best forwards.
Yeah, I'll try and
Should-
find
yeah.
the centre bounce numbers, see if he actually attended one.
I don't think I've ever
I
seen him on.
yeah, I haven't
maybe
seen
maybe
him in-
once.
I to be fair, I always confuse him and Windy in there
Yeah,
when I don't
he-
see the,
Just look at
the
the
jersey
stats.
number.
Did not attend a single centre bounce.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong
What
with
about
that this year.
any the whole season?
He's had like 6 in one game
See.
against the Bulldogs, 3 against
Oh,
Geelong.
okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so against
yeah.
Geelong, so early. He would
Yeah.
have been. Okay.
It's just he's a really good player to have.
Yeah, every team needs a player like
And
that.
I don't think it'd be interesting next year if Philippu's there, Henry's there, Higgins is there, if he does still fit in. But
He has
he's not a bad player for a replacement for any of those at all.
Yeah,
Because he's shown he can do it this year.
yeah, 100%. And you just touched on Henry. Obviously, it was his return game,
Yep.
second game of the year. Looked really good at the start.
Yes.
Sort of slowed down towards the end there.
As you'd expect, but
Yeah.
But
that
I-
goal was
no
good.
reason for him
Shush
to
the
get
crowd
dropped.
was interesting.
Yeah, if he shushes the crowd after he kicks the goal, perfectly fine.
to be fair, like they hated him while he was there,
Yeah,
Did he?
and now that
Yeah.
they hated him. Like,
Really?
they didn't like him
Yeah.
at all.
Wow. I
So
had no idea.
And then they also hated how he left, even though they didn't
Yeah.
like him.
So I was
because
100%
'cause he was
fine
a-
with that.
He was an NGA player from them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Stopped. Oh, obviously.
NGA's tough,
Yeah,
tough stuff.
that's why NGA shouldn't happen.
subject. Yeah, we'll be touching on an NGA player in the trade and draft recap.
Yeah, a little sneak peek, as it will.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Maybe a Kai Fincher. But another thing to touch on, Rowan Marshall.
Had-
Probably, I don't know. He's this bit of a weird spot. I think a lot of people think he's played good, but I reckon he's been smashed the past 2 weeks.
I not smashed this week. I think he
I
was.
feel like this week was a bit harsh to say he was smashed. Obviously,
Yeah,
two
that's
rucks, two very good rucks too.
He wasn't good, but he also wasn't bad like he was last week. He had his bad moments, but he also had his good moments. Like
Yeah,
he gave away 2 direct goals, got
Yeah.
one back.
yeah, that's
like-
fair.
I think when you're battling against Jackson and Darcy, both of them at home as well, it's a lot harder than what people think. And I think he did decent.
Yeah, you know who would have been real handy?
Max Heath.
Tom DeConey.
Oh, okay.
He would have been real handy for this game.
Well, even Dodson had 4 in the VFL.
Yeah, we'll touch on that a bit later on. But yeah, look, I don't think Rowan's at his best
No.
right now.
Well, he's obviously carrying him injuries throughout.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if we don't bring in a second ruck to help him out.
Soon, yeah. Given his injury problems that
Yeah.
we've heard about, he's basically week to week every week. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We could see a Heath debut against
Could
the
very well.
Hawks.
I think we would all rather a Heath than a Boyd. at this
Yes,
point.
very much so.
Yeah.
I was actually really impressed, sort of moving on, but I was really impressed with our midfield. Like,
Yes.
arguably our 2 best midfield performances this year have both come against Fremantle.
I don't know why we do it, but we just dominate him in the clearances.
Yeah, it's. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Marshall's dominating
Yeah.
to the point, and he's never been a supplier for the midfielders.
Yes.
But like, McRae, really good. Steele didn't have the stats wise, but I thought he was better than what he had been.
He was
this year.
definitely better.
I think
it was
especially
one
that
of his better
third
games.
quarter,
Yeah.
he played really well.
He-
Even though, I didn't even know about stats wise, but he looked like he was
I think he
more
had
into it.
21 or 22, but he still allowed his opponent to be able to break away because he just doesn't have the speed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is still an issue. But I thought Hugo Garcia extracting the ball really well. Had 15 touches in the first half.
He was
Yes.
great. I loved how we backed him in from the start
Yeah.
as well. We sent
Yeah.
him to the first centre bounce.
Yeah. And his confidence in the midfield just keep on going too.
Yeah, so 24, how many tackles, 10
20.
clearances?
Yeah, like it's
Only
what
in a-
you want
Only
from
in a
him.
one tackle, I think, actually.
Only one tackle?
Yeah.
I've got it here. Yeah, just the one
Just
tackle.
one tackle,
but the
but
10 clearances.
That's the big part.
Yeah.
Is that a leader for the match, Ben?
Yeah, it would be tied. Yeah, him
With-
and Rowan Marshall.
Yeah. So leader for the midfield.
Yes.
Yeah.
Caleb's wrong, 9 clearances out of 18 touches. That's very good.
So you
But, like,
basically lock him in for the rest
yeah.
of the year.
You can't.
I
not
don't
keep him
understand
in.
how we keep dropping him in the first place. I don't care if he has 12 touches in a game.
Yeah.
If you keep playing, he's what? How many games he's played? 17, 20? If
Yeah.
that?
around that. He wouldn't have got past 20.
Yeah. So you might as well. A lot of them is sub too, or been
Yeah.
subbed off. So if you keep playing full games, he's going to keep playing better, as we saw this week.
And we've talked about how much Sandy doesn't help the development. Just get him in there.
Yeah.
So
Sandy,
nothing wrong
Sandy,
with
you're dead, mate.
Mate, Sandy in the Vaffa next year.
Yeah, speaking of which,
Ha-
we have officially confirmed it. We are
Yep.
splitting.
How long are we giving him?
It's a bit much.
Give him 2 years in the VFL until the AFL decides it's just a national reserves comp, and then
and then
in the
go-
Vaffa they
But then
go.
I feel bad for the Werribies of the comps.
Yeah,
The
because
Werribee
they're
Sounds.
good.
Yes.
They are good. Frankston have been a
Southport,
good,
a,
yeah.
a very rich club. They should probably be in the AFL side, but Gold Coast wanted a
Yeah.
fresh start instead of a very established club with a pokies too. A lot of money coming into that.
don't know how we've got there, but
Well, I'm just saying Southport should have been in the league.
But yeah, look, pretty much everyone played good. It was very
Yes.
hard to find a player to include in Cooper's changes, which we'll touch on later.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
true. I think the
But,
only one, I think the most
was-
obvious one is the player didn't really get a run at it though.
Yeah.
To be fair, so it wasn't really his fault more
But
than
There
else?
still was some bad things, despite every player playing
Yes.
pretty good. You know, our inaccuracy in front of
frustrating.
goals.
Oh, mate, we should have been
that
up
first
5
quarter.
goals.
Yeah,
4-5 goals in that first half.
it's just
It's ridiculous.
it's this constant issue I have with Mitch Owens. What
Yeah.
are you doing each week to improve your goal kicking?
To be fair, Thursday he stayed after the main session and
Did
just
he?
practiced his goal kicking for about
Good.
5 minutes.
Didn't see it on the weekend.
yeah,
Well, at least he's put in the effort.
one goal,
Yes.
one, but like that first miss, Higgins as well. Like
his form has dropped off significantly. Part of it's accuracy.
Yes.
Like he normally kicks 3 goals straight in this type of game.
Yep.
But like he just go for the snap. No problems with that. But you're rushing it as well, and that's an issue. You got to let the team set up, and then just take a couple of breaths. It's clearly a mental thing for him.
He's
Yeah.
someone
Like
who
when
needs
you
to practice
rush.
his goal kicking.
Yeah, 100%.
Sharman as well, like as
Sharman.
a sharpshooter the
Yes.
past
Yeah.
few weeks.
Mason Wood as well cannot kick a drop punt to save
Yeah.
his life.
I don't know what's wrong with him. He's just
He's never
lost-
been a drop
I know.
punt
lost
kicker.
goal kicking confidence
I know.
at the moment in the last 2 weeks.
Isaac Keeler is our only like straight kick inside.
Yeah,
50 at
and
the
he
moment.
just doesn't get
Yeah.
the supply.
No.
Like he had 3 touches, 2 of them were goals.
I know.
You
Yes.
get that to at least 8 touches. He's probably kicking at least 3 and setting up another couple.
Yeah, because
Which is very good.
that was the part of his game I liked the past few weeks because he wasn't really getting on the scoreboard, but
He was
he was
getting
getting
involved.
others. Yeah.
Yes.
And this week he got on the scoreboard, but only the 3 touches.
We need to stop Marshall's hack kicking too.
Yeah,
It costs more than it. Like I know he
like
kicked
he
a
got
goal
the
from
goal, but
from it, which that's not going through every time.
yeah,
compared
a lot of
to-
out on the fulls, just a lot of kicks to
Yeah.
nowhere.
The one out of the ruck straight away went to Josh Tracy, I think, in
Yeah.
the first quarter. He snapped it straight through. One out on the full, obviously.
There's a reason why we are targeting a younger ruckman
Yeah.
A more athletic
and
ruckman.
a more athletic ruckman and someone who does still hack, but at least he's got
Yes.
greater attributes around the ground.
Yeah,
Mm.
and who'd want to be at Carlton at the
Yeah.
moment?
Here's a hypothetical because I saw it on a weekend with Darcy and Jackson. Jackson was playing in like as a ruck rover to
Yeah.
Darcy. Would you do that next year?
With TDK as the ruck rover.
Yeah.
No, because
Wouldn't do it?
Marshall can't hit the ball.
I
to
just
him.
think Jackson. I'm not like 100% confirmed on this. I reckon he was just the type of player that had a growth spurt real late in life
Looks it.
Yes.
and just like played as a mid all his
Mm.
juniors. So he's got that sort of aspect. I don't think that's really happened with TDK or Rowan.
Speaking of another bad in this game, it was the last centre bounce.
Yeah.
That-
What's going on with that?
That is a rule that should be changed. There is no point of bouncing the ball anymore after it's a
Yeah.
goal, because if you look at behind the goals footage, we were out. Sarong was so open because Hunter Clark was off his man,
Yeah.
waiting for a handball over the top to kick it in.
Yeah.
So
And I guess
if that
Clark's
goes
another
up-
player we haven't really touched on.
Clark.
But like, there was just a heap of good players.
Yes.
Like Naz. We didn't even touch on Naz.
Yeah, it's good to see him back on the score sheet.
I know.
He kicked a goal, was getting involved up
he-
the ground, which is what we want.
We'll talk about it in trade and draft news, but do you think after this week are we getting worried?
I have a very good theory
Yes.
about this, and I'll touch on it in the trade and draft.
Okay.
Just want to say one thing before we move on to Saner of the Week. I've got a question with Darcy Wilson. Because
Yes, fair.
we saw with
just went
Philippou,
missing.
yeah, we saw Philippou last year where he took weeks in the VFL to get back.
Yeah.
And it was so many games
Whereas-
he should have came in too.
Yeah, correct. Whereas Darcy had the one, missed a couple through by an injury or illness, whatever it was. And he performed really well at 32 touches and 10 clearances. But feels like we could have seen more weeks. And I understand without Hill you want more outside run,
Yes.
but
Yep.
his ball use isn't there. He seems to not be making the right decisions. Feels like he's running 100 miles a minute.
I do think we rushed back into it because of the loss to the Bulldogs. I mean, like, shit,
Yeah.
we were so old in this game.
Mm-hmm.
We got to rush a
Yes.
few youngsters in. Look, I don't have him getting dropped, but
Would you rather
Could
him
we
find
see-
more form in a AFL side, which is we're fine with losing at the moment anyway? Let's be honest. We would rather a top pick. I know it's not tanking. I know
Mhm.
the club internally would probably rather a
Yeah.
top pick than
It-
winning these meaningless games.
it depends on what our long-term output is. I think if we long-term view Wilson as an inside player, I think send
Yeah.
him to Sandy for,
But
6
3
games.
weeks.
It's also
minimum.
It's also like we don't care about Sandy anymore. Are they going to care about us? I know
True.
our coaching staff's down there, but also
That
a lot
is
of
true.
a lot of Sandy players might not look for
Yeah, but we've seen what he did in that one and only game where he
Yes.
had 32. So I wouldn't hate seeing him back
Mm.
in there.
I agree.
Would probably come with some scrutiny to drop him and then bring him back in straight
Yeah,
away.
that's why I don't want to do because it loses their confidence too.
Yeah,
Which another player is as a Toby.
and
who,
look, I'm sure Ross and stuff have been talking about that with him.
as a Toby had a similar stat line,
Yeah,
like I think exact same amount of touches. But I'd rather keep playing AFL.
I just like seeing Toby and Taru on the same side.
the blonde players.
I think it makes the most
But
sense.
like we all know what's going to happen when they go to VFL. Sandy going to get smashed by 6-7 goals most weeks,
Yeah,
and they're going to have 10 clearances and probably a goal each.
yeah.
It's that's why like Zach Jones what did he have on a weekend? Probably 32 and a goal.
Cool.
I think
He
it was around there.
had- Yeah, 32 and a goal.
Yeah, exactly. So it's around and what does he do in the AFL?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That team is so reliant on our players right now. It's hard to get actually a good look of who's actually playing well.
And that's why St Kilda VFL is so important. And
Yes.
we'll touch on it more when we actually get to the VFL bit. But
Yes.
St Kilda VFL is very important when it comes to the development of our
Especially,
players.
which should be a marketing standpoint, which I'll be surprised if it won't be. Footy's back on the rabbit.
Yeah. Oh, I reckon
Week in,
they'd be
week out.
straight back on that right now.
Has to be.
But I think it's time to get into the player of the week for this
Yes.
week. So you guys voted for Max Hall.
Worth.
It was very close.
Really? Who else?
Have you got the
Tauru.
voting up?
Tauru.
Yeah.
I can
Didn't-
get it, but I don't
I-
have the exact numbers, but it was very close.
I voted for Garcia, even though I don't have him in my 3. He's not my. He doesn't have my 3, but he's there. I just.
You know what? Tauru might have actually overtaken him by now,
Ooh.
but
Nah, keep it as Max Hall. He
but it
deserves
is Max Hall. Max
Yeah,
Hall got it.
Look, I know Tauru is amazing, as we'll touch on for the rest of the year. but
Yes.
I think Max Hall deserves this one.
Yeah.
Easily.
So that's his second because he got it round 1 as well.
Did he?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, of
so-
course. He was only forward that played well.
Yeah.
Only player that played well.
But,
in
what
round one.
about you, Cooper? Give us your votes first.
I've got Garcia to 1
Mhm.
because I think he'll be a nice bounce back game. Had 24, 10 clearances. Doing kind of what he did in the VFL, but a little bit less. But you know, build into it as we said before. I've got Alix Tauru to 2, as we've also
Yep.
said. 14 spoils, second game ever. Can't get much better than that. Sure, he'll just keep building. And then, same of the week, Max Hall 3 as so clean in the with the footy. And he set up what do you have? 11 score involvements, I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
Which is
It was
it's
crazy
so more
numbers.
important than his 21 touches. Is
Yeah.
their score involvements? Like you can get 21 touches, 0 score involvements. Nobody's
Yeah.
gonna
Zach Jones.
care.
But what
Yeah.
about you, Ben?
Let me just get the score involved.
Yeah.
At 11.
Yeah, I
Yep.
tweeted about it yesterday.
Yeah. One vote, Alix Tauru. Not giving him anything more than that, just because unfortunately that kick at the end did kind of take away that one vote.
He was bugging.
Unfortunately,
That
he
was
was
his
bugging.
one
But
mistake.
it was literally his one mistake. I've
Mm.
gone 2 votes Hugo Garcia.
Yes.
I think when we're talking about pure extractors, there are very few better at the club at the moment. It's him and McRae. And I think if he learns from McRae how to get in and under proper, he's able to get his hands away as well, really
Yep.
well. So good on him.
Yep.
And then 3 votes Maxwell. Love him.
Like, I'm gonna,
Definitely fair.
How ahead do we think Nas is of the voting right now? Because he would be the
In
favourite.
our votes,
Yes.
he's got senior of the week about 4 or 5 times this year.
And
so
how many
far.
how many games are left?
8.
just on potential alone, I think Tauru will come home strong just because everybody loves him.
Yeah.
He'll get just a 1 vote every single week.
He could have 6 touches and he could
Well,
have 4 kicks.
I've got a surprise for you guys
Here we go.
because Alix Tauru gets my 3 votes.
There you
I
go.
had to go a bit different, but
So he'll storm home. This will be a Nas Tauru.
he makes me excited to go to the footy. I'm so excited to go
Yes.
Saturday.
And when was the last time we had a player who could do that?
I know.
As we
And
said, most potential.
we
as
have
touched
we have
on-
said this since the start, so we're not on the bandwagon. We knew about this.
As we'll touch on a little segment later that we're going to do, but most potential since Riewoldt.
Most potential since Jack Billings.
I thought we were talking about this in a
But,
I'll
I'll
just,
just-
I'll
I'll
just
just
touch on it now.
But what about my 2 votes, Maxwell, and then 1 vote, Garcia? So pretty surprising that we've all gone.
So you've gone 3 on just potential alone.
I just thought it was great.
Do you
14
think-
spoils.
But like, take away. You think Max Hall played a better game?
I think Alix Tauru was great.
All right.
That didn't answer the question.
Yeah, I think we know the answer,
think
Ben.
Alix
I think we
Tauru
know
was
the
great.
answer.
But it's pretty interesting.
And
Like,
that's why he's going to come home stronger. To
we
say
talked
the
about
win.
how everyone played pretty good,
Yes.
but we've all gone for the same 3 players in our votes.
Well, I think those are just the 3 that stood out. Like,
Yeah, everyone.
McRae does what he does every week,
Yeah.
though.
Mhm.
So it's very hard to give him. I would rather give a young.
Alix Tauru did
Rising-
not get the Rising Star
Oh,
nomination.
Who'd they give it to?
Clay Hall.
Clay Hall.
What did he have?
Robbed.
I thought that was Nasri
Roll,
signing.
Break.
I thought that was Nasri signing.
Before
that
we
that
move on
face,
to
That face you just go, I was like, oh no, that's his side.
before we move on to Bem's Sinner of the Week,
Yep.
what did Clay Hall do?
Let me
Yeah,
get it up.
27, I think.
Clay Hall had 22
Oh, 22.
touches, 4 tackles, 3 clearances, 79 fantasy.
How many spoils?
How do you spoils?
Let me check the advanced.
Probably not as much.
Clay Hall.
He won't have enough spoils.
Clay Hall.
Daddy had a 1.
Had 2 inside 50s, had 1 free against, had 3 score involvements, 1 tackle inside 50, 5 contested possessions, 0 contested marks, no frees
What is-
for.
Taru was. I had the graphic ready
That's a nice graphic too.
for the camera. I had the graphic ready.
Just ridiculous.
He
What
got
is-
robbed.
What is the eligibility
Hey.
for next year?
Doesn't matter.
You
It's
can't
under
get a
10
vote.
games and under 21.
Yeah.
No, you can get 2 Rising Star.
You
noms.
can. You've just
Jake
got to have
Bowie has
less
it.
than 10 games,
Okay.
and you're under the 21 at the start.
So
of the
he
year.
will be eligible next year.
Yes.
Yes, if he plays out the rest, I believe he finishes on 9 games. However, he also
So he's going to win it next year.
is
Nice.
going to win it this week against his former, which might spoil my bold prediction, but
We'll talk about
Against
Oh,
the
well.
former 26.
So
Yes,
we
correct.
will say he's $1.01 for next year, since that draft isn't as strong
very
or
well could
deep
be.
this year.
Very
as
well
this
could
year.
Pretty much, we'll see. But what about Bem's Sinner of the Week?
Gone a
I've
bit
seen these.
rogue. Gone a bit rogue this week.
100% have.
So, starting off with the 1 vote, Rowan Marshall's kicking. We talked about it a little bit. Just use your hands more, mate. It's
Yeah.
pretty simple. 2 votes, inaccuracy, consistent theme with this team. How many times have we said it?
Yeah.
And then the 3 votes,
This is good.
Caroline Wilson. So, the story of how we found the 3AW was my uncle sent it to me randomly. And I take a look. I'm like, oh, what she said this time must be some absolutely outrageous thing. And then I listened to it and I'm like, podcast, last 24 hours. And then I hear the CEO of the St
Yep.
Kilda Football Club. Like, oh, shit, that's us. And then I hear, oh, but there's no Saints Nation mention.
No
Come
shout
on,
out.
Caro.
We went back. We
Come
checked the
on.
full radio. Not a single
on. No
mention.
shout out.
It's not even like they listened to the podcast. They just saw the clip online and used that audio.
If there is no mention on Agenda Setters or Footy Classified
mate.
tonight,
Mate.
even 360, I'm not going to watch it. But if there's no mention,
If anything does come up, send it to us, please.
of course, yes, please send it to us if you see anything.
Even if it's an article. We just want to be
Surprised,
mentioned.
like you sent it to us, and then like
I was so surprised. I
10
thought it was
minutes
so-
later, a bunch of other people were sending it to me. It's
Yeah.
so weird. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it's Caro, Sinner of the Week, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
definitely fair. But is it time for
The news.
this weird? It's not going to be something that's in every week, but
It will change each week, I think.
it is just something because of Alix Tauru.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Alix Tauru has the most potential as a Sainer since who? We'll go with you, Cooper, because I think
Yeah,
your answer's
you-
pretty obvious.
Yeah.
My answer's what? My answer's not. I didn't say it before. This is my favourite player growing up in the days with Scott Waters and like Alan Richardson.
Yep.
Jack Billings, most potential since him. Pick 3. He never got the development he needed from St Kilda. I think we failed him more than he failed us. He was elite by both feet. He's the best kick in his draft. And there was genuine conversations about him and Bont in 2016, 2017.
The next Hodge.
You were
have a look.
driving them. You were driving them.
Yes. And he had 30 and 5 in his 50th game. That doesn't get talked about enough.
I
30
reckon
and
you
5.
bring it up every second week.
Oh, 100%.
30 and 5. Bont's never had a 30 and 5.
You're not wrong.
I doubt Josh Kelly's never had 30 and 5. Tom Boyd definitely didn't have 30 and 5. He's the best player in that top 4, and I'll stand by that. It was us that failed him more than he failed us. And I guarantee it, Dogs will never admit this, as they shouldn't, but if Dogs had pick 3, they would have been picking Jack Billings too.
Yeah, they would.
That's me.
What about you,
Well,
Ben? It's going to be hard to back that one up.
The answer's
I love Jack Billings.
the answer's clear. Like there is no other option other than Max King. Like he is by far our highest talented player since Nick Riewoldt. I
Yes.
don't even think there's an argument for, especially since we're talking about in the last 7 years, it's Max King.
Yep.
Like look at the last 7 drafts we've had. Didn't pick someone 2019 really. 2020 definitely didn't. 2021
Ryan
was
Burrs,
Naz.
2020. Come on. Don't distract me.
2021 was Naz as our first pick. He didn't have that crazy high potential. 2022, Phillip, who did,
Yep.
but he wasn't seen as a Bont. He was seen as like sort of that rung below.
Yes.
2023 was Wilson. He wasn't seen as that game breaker. 2024 is Tauru. It is
Yep.
Max King. There is no other answer.
Now, look, I think King and Billings are the right answers,
Here we go.
but I don't want to copy any of you guys. So
Bring back Billings.
I've
Saints VFL. Bring
so
him
I'm
back.
actually going someone who was drafted the same year as Max King. Pick 41, did a back injury in that
Oh,
draft.
Vital. Yeah.
Jack Vital.
Yeah, yeah.
Before he did
Yeah.
that back injury, he was going to be a top 4 or 5 pick. And I loved him so much. I miss him. Bring him back. It's so good to
I
see
miss
that.
him.
I loved his tan. His tan was awesome.
It's so good.
What did you just say?
It's so good to see the 23 back out running around. I know we're talking about 26 with Tauru, but the 23 on Henry just makes me happy for Vital. I know we saw him last year at Collingwood and he wasn't great, but
Hey, he had like 26 in the game
where
once.
is he now? I think
He's
he
at
plays
he's at Coburg right
with
now.
Matty Ellison, isn't he?
Yes.
Crazy. Jeez,
Get
talk
them all
about-
back. They can all come back Saints VFL next
Saints
year.
VFL.
Come back to
Sandy
Moorabbin.
VFL. Nah,
But
they're
Nah, Sandy
yeah,
you're done.
I'm gonna go with Jack Billings. Jack Vital, because I don't want to copy you guys.
Who were some random shouts? Because I think Paddy McCartan, when we're talking
Yes,
about
yeah,
potential,
very
is
hyped.
definitely one up there. It wasn't even potential. Like he was that good when he was playing.
Gresham was very hyped too.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
When he-
Especially after his first
when
year.
he was drafted, or when after his first.
Probably
year?
after his first year more
Yeah.
than just being drafted.
Yeah.
Anyone else that we can think of? Like I don't really. I wasn't a huge fan back in like early 2010s, late 2000s.
Jack,
So I can't really
Jack
say much
Stephen was
back
really
then.
hyped up when
Yeah.
he could get a game back in 2009.
Okay.
When he I think maybe played
Mhm.
once every 5 weeks.
Gee, I'm on Draft Guru. Like
Yeah.
just looking at like every player we've brought in. Like
No, yeah.
there's some real failures.
Go on.
Oh,
Go. Let's go
look,
through the
we'll get-
failures.
The first one's Andrew Lovett.
Andrew, yes.
that was a complete miss.
Yep.
Jamie Cripps traded him after 16 games
Yeah.
to the
Tom
Eagles.
Lynch was also traded straight away.
Yep.
And he played pretty good for Adelaide.
Tom Lynch, Jack Nunes is on this list. He played 155 games for us.
Did he? He played 155
It wa-
games.
what
for
was
us.
it? It was about to break the record for most consecutive at St Kilda, and then Richardson dropped him the week before. How stiff! And this is when we'll shit.
Wow.
How stiff!
So we could get a little Nunes as a father-son player, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. Can we get Blake Acres as a father-son? He's another one.
His fiance is
I'll
Grant
check Blake
Thomas's
Acres.
daughter, I believe, too. So, yeah,
Akers
out of St
played
Kilda.
75 for us.
Oh, just
So
under.
Has
he's
he
not-
played 100 for anybody?
No.
Nah, so he's played 180. So
You'll be.
Definitely
You'd say Callum.
105 for Fremantle Carlton. Jeez.
Jeez. Yeah.
it's definitely
There's no one else to think of, like realistically. Like,
Hugh Goddard,
nah.
Spencer White.
Robertson,
Kobe
Robertson.
Stevens.
Like,
Yeah, Tim Stevens.
gee, like that 2010s era. Like,
Just.
I hate
dream.
how our current recruiting team gets blamed for this era of recruiting.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
it makes no sense.
crazy.
Look, we've nailed a draft the last 4 years since
2021.
Yep. Since NAS, because 2020 we didn't have a pick.
Yep.
Ryan Burns was our first draft choice.
I think
And he's played, let's be honest, he's played
How many
very
games has he
consistent for a
played?
pick 52, I
Yeah.
think he was.
How many games has he played?
Ryan
on?
Burns, love, you never seen that here.
Ryan Burns over 50. 100%.
2019 draft.
2019?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, 2019 draft. Who was
how many
2020
games
draft?
is
Matt
it?
Allison.
77.
He's played
Matt
77 at the start of the year, or is it current?
Matt Allison was
From
our
current.
first pick in 2020.
This is, if he plays next year, like if he plays the rest of this year and plays next year, we could have him as a father-son candidate.
Imagine that. We're the whipping boy for
Little,
a lot of St Kilda.
little Newton,
and then-
little Burns.
and then
2020
Ryan Burns
hurt
is-
so much because we traded I think the trade was pick 18
Which
for
was max
Two
Higgins,
picks.
for Higgins and 26. Or it was like picks
Yes.
like that. And that pick that we traded
Was Max
ended up
Holmes.
going to Geelong and ended up being Max Holmes,
But
who's like a lifelong Saint. And we had interest in him last year.
Jack Higgins isn't horrible, though.
Yeah, like we love Jack, but
He's not Max Holmes.
Yeah, it's true.
nah.
A bit of a tangent, but it's because there were no injuries this week, so there's nothing really to talk about
I know,
there.
Nah.
no
Thankfully,
injuries.
really good with that because all our key injuries are out for the year, basically. And that means
Does
we...
Filippo play again? Or we
Mm.
hold him off?
I think just play it safe.
Yep.
We've played it safe with the King all year.
He should be back by around 20, Philippou, so I think you can play him for the last few games.
If we are somehow
If
making a
he's-
charge for finals,
Mate,
No,
no.
we're
play
not.
him,
No,
but
that's
we,
dead.
we will not be playing finals this year. There's
we're,
no need.
We're 4 games out of finals,
Yeah.
so we're not
Let's
making
not even
finals.
talk about it.
We're closer.
I'd rather a top
We're
4
closer
pick.
to North Melbourne than we are to
Good.
finals.
Finish below,
North.
please.
What was that on the weekend?
Shout out Dorothy.
Didn't even want to make it competitive.
Shout out Northie,
I know.
crazy.
We got North Richmond back to back, which scares me because that's probably 2
Ooh.
wins, which isn't ideal.
if we
for our
if we
draft.
beat Richmond and lose to North, I'm perfectly fine.
No,
with
I'd rather beat North just because I don't want to. Your mate.
You don't want to
Talking
lose
to
to
me.
North, yeah.
I'd rather lose to Richmond because
To
we
be
already
fair,
beat them.
if we lose to Richmond, could Richmond then jump up above us if we win a couple? If they win a couple other games?
Yeah, if they win a couple, I think they've
Yeah.
got West Coast again.
Like
to be
North
fair.
are 2 points behind us at the moment. We need to be losing to them.
Yeah, yeah.
We're always
Oh.
close against them as well. Like we do
Yeah,
not
it's-
smash
it's
North
It's a
never
Melbourne.
remember that
comfortable.
2023 game? Or was it 60-20?
The one where Filippo took mark of the year.
Yeah, just remember the game though. Besides
Yeah, that was.
oh yuck.
I remember because it was a North home game or something. I bought a kids ticket.
Yeah.
Sat level 1. It was like the worst
Did ya?
thing I ever did in my life.
You know,
Jeez.
talk to Marvel
Not
about that one.
impressed.
Poor,
Impressive, that
poor
one.
kids tickets.
That's
It was
that's
kids
banned
go
now.
free round,
That's banned now.
but
Don't go into kids ticket at Marvel. We'll
but I
stop you.
think it's time for
Who's wait?
the VFL.
The VFL. Go on.
So
You watch more of this than anybody else.
yeah, so the big one is Irish Schoenmaker.
Played well.
Played as a midfielder,
Mm-hmm.
20 touches, 3 goals, 6 inside 50s. Still some things to work on. 1 clearance. So he's definitely not coming straight in this
He'd
week.
be a tall midfielder. I
Yeah.
checked. Paddy Cripps is next with 195. Irish Showmaker's 197.
Get him in next week.
Max Heath played well.
But
Both the rucks played
yeah,
well.
Max Heath had 16 and 2, and Dodson had 17 and 4.
I think Boyd should just be the travelling emergency every week now.
I think Boyd
Yeah.
should just be delisted right now. Just to let nothing against him, but it's just for Max Heath and his development.
Yes.
Like they, as a pair, they play so much better.
we can talk about this in Will's trade and draft news again, but are we keeping Max Heath for a 1-year extension if we bring in TDK and keep Marshall and have Dodson still?
I think like we've obviously gone with the 4 rucks this year.
Yes. Are we doing it again?
Yes, I do. I think with what he's doing right now, no team's going to be looking
Yeah.
for him. Like, who would have interest in Max Heath? Carlton, Collingwood,
Have it.
but Cameron's
take it.
re-signed. No one would be looking at him, so I think he'll stay.
Yeah.
And he's got a good relationship with, Naz, Owens, Windy.
Whoever has a good relationship with Naz can stay.
Yeah.
If that means Naz is
Oh,
staying.
If there's a player out there who's best mates with Naz, recruit him.
Yeah.
Get him over.
Come in.
They're going to be the key to getting him in.
Come to the Saints VFL.
But
to be the key.
The key.
going to be the key. But
Let's do it.
just a quick one. Angus Hasty, 23 and a goal. Has to be like one of the best VFL footballers I've seen since 2023 Ryan Burns. Or 2022 Ryan Burns.
He
One of those
seems-
years, he was a great VFL
He
footballer.
seems consistently getting just over 20 in a goal.
Disrespectful.
Yep.
It's really
Disrespect those
impressive.
Boxall.
Oh, yeah, we haven't touched on Boxall. 27, 10 tackles, 10
Triple-double.
clearances. Triple double.
How are you that good?
And
already,
Lance.
By the way, what pick was he? 40? 30 something?
Boxall,
Yeah.
45.
And he's dominating the VFL. You never see that for a late pick already dominating the VFL.
I've only seen it once, and it was last year with Garcia.
So it's just our recruiting. There you
Yeah.
go. Have that AFL.
Lance
We're back.
Collard, 18 touches, 2 behinds.
Playing more up the ground.
Not even just up the ground. I saw him taking kickouts in the last quarter. I might have to go back and watch it.
Do you reckon
but
Ari's been banned from kickouts?
I-
Lance Collard down there.
Brendan Goddard, the coach of the Zebras,
Yeah.
must be tuning in every week, hear us talking shit about Ari Shawmaker and his
Taking the
kickouts,
kick
and
out.
he's sent your man down there.
If I could get Lance down there, take some kickings.
I'm pretty sure it was Lance I saw. because he was racking 'em up.
Surely not. He had
Even Dow, 21, 7
on
clearances.
not much game time. They're
Yep.
saying he'll have another game similar to this next week, and then the week after he'll play a full game, and then we should see him in the ones.
Our boy,
Wow.
Paddy said, 10 and a goal.
Yep, that's his best game
yep.
since he's.
Every
First
player
player.
played pretty well. There was no shit performances.
And Williamstown are a good team, so he
Yeah.
played well against them.
And it's so
Fell
windy
well
out
late.
there.
Shout out number 75, cost us the game for Sandy. I know you are.
Oh, yeah, I don't know who he
Didn't
is.
defend on the wing.
Can't be saying
How many
that.
goals did McLaughlin kick for them? Like 6?
Yeah, but
Man.
that was on Barrett apparently.
Yeah. Barrett.
McLaughlin's a gun though.
I'm not going to get the conversation started just yet on Barrett.
No,
But because he's a
fresh
young defender, but like I thought he was going to like be the first one to debut.
Yeah,
Really?
fair.
Yeah, when we drafted
look
him,
how
'cause he was a
mature age he
big
looks.
body.
Yeah, he's a huge body.
He
but,
reminds
like,
me of somebody we used to have. Forget
he's
his
n-
name though.
He's not a proper. No, shut up.
Fairness.
No, I'm talking about
He's
Old mate.
not. Yeah, good barrel.
Yeah, I don't know.
a traitor.
On the day, like
No.
I'll say, on the day, I did not understand the pick. You
Yeah.
look at like who went up, like
And
Whitlock.
Mraz.
Whitlock was supposed to be a first rounder.
Yeah.
He fell out.
What
I
pick
thought
was Barrett?
32. Like I thought we were going
Hmm.
to take Dodson with that pick.
Dodson,
Mraz.
Dodson was seen as like a top 20 pick by certain clubs.
Yeah,
Has
And
Moraes
he fell all
re-signed
the
yet?
way.
fell. Pardon?
Has Moraes re-signed that yet?
Yeah, Hawks. Yeah.
No, Christian Moraes. Support.
Oh,
Port.
don't know.
That's
But
something-
he's another one
that's something to
that
watch. By the way.
we didn't get. O'Farrell. Who's the one at the Eagles? Tom Gross. There's like a
Yeah.
few there that I thought we would have drafted before Barrett. Like,
Should have
Yeah.
traded Steele out for like a
We've
pick in the
obviously-
teens.
Well, we got a good mid in Boxall that's probably better than
Yeah.
Tom Gross and Moraes so
that
far,
is
and
fair. That
even
is fair.
probably Moraes.
It's just, I don't know. It's an interest. I want to see Barrett more.
Yeah.
I just don't know
He-
about that.
The
But
thing
he's
is,
not
that's the
big
thing. We
enough.
don't
He's not-
have a clear guidance of what's happening down at Sandy right now
Yeah.
because there's no social media coverage. I don't know what they're doing.
Lenny Hayes, like, will get a post every Tuesday talking about the players, and that's it.
Yeah, I say that.
Love
We
Lenny.
really need a
Saw him
St
at
Kilda
training on
VFL
Thursday.
Instagram account. Like,
Yeah. At St Kilda VFL. I reckon whoever has that account should make there.
Get it started right
Yeah.
now. But
St
think-
Kilda, if you're watching this, maybe message whoever has a St Kilda VFL account and see if you can get it.
but
They might ask for an internship or something, but you could probably
Yeah.
get it off them.
but I think it is time.
Okay,
Or-
Ben, what's wrong?
You're okay there.
You seem like you know who has a St Kilda VFL account.
Is it someone sitting right next to Ben?
Oh, it's an absolute nuffy on the Saints Discord. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
I'm
I
just
think-
holding it for him. Somebody could have taken it.
I think it's time for the second worst segment on this podcast. Will's trade and draft
The
recap.
second worst. Oh, so
Yeah.
we're saying, oh, what's the worst?
Cooper's connection.
Coura's niche connections.
It's great. It
Did
was
you-
a
we-
big
did
Did
hit.
you not see the
We've had-
comments last
Yeah,
week?
it was a big hit last
Look at.
week.
Did you not see the comments on the YouTube? I'll show him.
I
You
don't.
talk about your little segment.
But the big news is Miles Bergman officially, in quotation marks, has signed a 2-year
See?
deal. Signed a 2-year deal at Port Adelaide. By the way, Cooper's just commented that himself, the niche connections. I saw it this morning.
Prove it.
Just go and have a look.
Cooper Power 1,
But
1, 2,
yeah,
3.
so
That's not me.
Miles Bergman,
I got a fan account.
Miles Bergman 2-year deal at Port Adelaide. Jeez, mate, it's not a comedy podcast.
so dumb.
What's wrong with Coura's niche connection?
But
Go
But-
on. Sorry, Will.
yes, Miles Bergman, 2-year deal at Port Adelaide. So he'll come to St Kilda 2027-2028.
Yep.
Dad's a physio at the club.
Is that confirmed, Will? Or are you just going off big footy rumours?
I'm going off LinkedIn rumours.
It doesn't say he's a physio at LinkedIn. It just says he's a physio.
I've been sent something.
Are you?
But the biggest part of this isn't even Miles Bergman signing on. It is Naz. And
Let's say it how it is. It basically confirms Naz.
I said to you guys,
They
Just
can't trade
confirms
for him.
Naz.
I said
Just
to you-
confirms
To
Naz.
stay, sorry.
I said to you guys at halftime, Naz was playing shit before he kicked that goal. Let's be honest.
What are you stab ads?
He was playing terribly, and I messaged you guys. I'm like, Naz has nothing to play for this game. He's
Yeah.
obviously signed on, and they just haven't
So
announced
is
it.
that your big prediction?
That's my
That Naz is
He's
going to
signed on.
announce it.
He's
Sure.
done it.
Surely we get Naz signs this week, and then Tauru signs on as well, just to
Yeah.
screw with Josh Battle.
Well,
Just
I'm
to
Just to
say,
make sure.
this is what
hadn't
would
signed
happen.
Sauce
on.
is going all the way to Adelaide for a thing. Surely, if it's not ready to sign or not ready to get talked about, he's not going to Adelaide.
Do you reckon he's gone up there to chat to Bergman, been like, mate, we
Well,
can't,
that is a
we
rumour.
can't get it done this year. Sign that 2-year deal.
That's a rumor I saw on Twitter. Shout out Alan. He said that.
And
That
it
little
saves
rumour.
us a first-round pick. They were going to ask for a first-round pick for him.
Yep.
And gives us more space for Aaliyah as well.
That's
Yes.
true.
So that brings Aaliyah back on the table. It also
Yep.
brings Savani back on the table. He hasn't re-signed yet.
He's out this week as well.
Out for maybe
reckon-
multiple weeks.
I think Silvani's signed, not with us, with Carlton. I think he has.
You say
I'm pretty confident.
If
that he
I
has.
was
yes.
like, not even just from a St Kilda's
Well,
perspective, and I might have said this on the podcast last week, if I am Silvani and if I'm Warple as well, now that Rao's signed,
yes,
their cash goes up the second an Aaliyah goes off the table.
yes.
Just wait until the end of the year.
Fair
if
enough.
you're Silvani, what are Carlton offering you? 600?
Yeah.
St Kilda will offer him like 700, 800 if we can't get
We've
Aaliyah.
got the cash to spend. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
We've got to use it.
We
That-
have to.
That's
that's
that's what I hate.
That's
People
not
are
the
just like,
problem.
don't offer this money to TDK.
What do you want us to do?
We have no choice.
Give
It will just
Warple
evaporate.
1.2 instead. You have to
The-
use it.
Yeah, the money just evaporates if you
We
don't use
do
it.
have 105% of our salary cap to be able to use
That's a rumour.
this year.
That is a rumour. But yes, I'm pretty sure that is true. But I think it's time for the best segment on this podcast.
We are back. Cooper's changes. That was the loudest I've ever been on this podcast. We are back. I'm going to start with you, Will. I don't know what you've done. I think everybody
Ooh.
has just a 1, but it's going to be hard this week.
I
So everybody's played
found
well.
it very hard this week, and I have a feeling we're all going to have Jack Carroll out just because
Yeah,
minimal game
just
time.
couldn't
Yeah.
play.
Travalia moves to the sub. Just
Yeah.
very hard this week. You know, like Hasty
I
played
wouldn't.
really good in the VFL.
Yep.
I think he should get another shot. Hill missed with illness. Does he come back in, or does he have to work in? Same with Webster.
I'd rather. You will never see Bradley Hill in
It
a Sandy
is- it
Zeb's jersey, let's be
is
honest. But
Very hard. So
If
I
it
think
was
I'm
up
going to
to
have
me.
to go Hill in
In-
for Carroll. I think
that's it.
as much as I don't like it, because I thought our ball movement looked great,
Yes.
I think we're just going to have to do it.
Yep.
And what about you, Ben? What have you gone
That's
with?
fine. What about you, Ben?
Oh, my bad.
We've got Carroll out. I think
Yep.
that's the consensus. We've gone
That's the word.
Toby also out. Travalia.
Really?
Yeah. I think
I like it. I'm not against that.
it's either Toby or Darcy. I'm very tossing
can't drop
between the
Darcy.
two. I just think I talked about it before. Maybe he just needs an extra little spell in the twos, and then I've gone in Hill. Obviously, as the one that just comes back. He doesn't play Sandy, as you boys mentioned.
Yep.
And then I've gone Max Heath.
Moose.
I think it's a home game. It's something that it's probably one of the times you could do it where it's a Hawthorn team that has a
Well,
really
I think
good.
Meek
What I'll
might have gotten injured. I'm not 100%
They'll probably
sure.
bring in Sicily, let's be honest. So they've got a
Correct,
very
yes.
tall back line.
Yeah.
You might as well.
It's something you
I
can
know we
match
won't
up
because
with.
we never do, but
I'm-
I'd love to see Ethan.
I just think play him. You got nothing to lose if you play him. Marshall had a better week. Just give him the extra support.
Yep.
Yep.
I
Bring
think
in the
that is
Moose.
fair. I think that is fair. And
If
The man
if they
himself.
do, sorry,
Oh.
just want to say if they do bring in
Just wait, mate.
Max, can we wear the Viking helmets with our moose as well? Can we?
sure.
Mate.
Sure.
No, we cannot.
Why not both?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
I know it's a bit.
Moose.
Cooper's changes is a very simple one this week, unfortunately. I bring in Hugh Boxall after a triple W, as you said,
Yes,
in
the
the
Box.
VFL. I reckon you might as well play him. And I've taken out Carroll, which I'd rather see get a full game at VFL again, in the mid.
Yeah.
See what it can do, because that sub, he came on with how long left? 10 minutes maybe?
Yeah, 10,
Around
15.
there. Didn't get a touch. I didn't actually see him, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
they did as much as Fife did. Fife didn't touch it or didn't even play, so.
Did you guys
How-
see what happened with Fife?
So he's
Tough
out
lightness.
for
Yeah.
4 weeks now.
A full
Fife.
week at half time.
4 weeks.
They said he had
Mate, he's
calf
never played
tightness
again.
at half
Nah,
time.
he could have come to St
That's-
Kilda in like 09, 07, whenever it was.
That's
0907,
ridiculous.
Fife.
Yeah, Nat Fife.
0907. What do you mean?
Nat Fife. We were trying to get him before Ross left. Like we were big on getting Nat Fife
He
to the Saints. I'm pretty
Started
sure.
in Freo in 2010.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh, my bad. But like before Ross left, I'm remembering it wrong.
I think you are, yeah.
But we
Because
were
Ross-
definitely into Fife.
I think we were in the Fife in like 2018, around there. It was like when we were into Rory Sloane and
Mate.
Hanbury.
Did you see him? Okay, we're going way off topic, but
Go on, man.
Rory Sloane's talked about that. Like how
The little-
he was pretty close to it.
Yeah, so I'd watch out for
Don't think it would have done
what
much
is
for
the
us.
Instagram burner
Yeah.
that he used to communicate with. That's what happened.
Yeah, that is.
Had an
yeah.
Instagram burner, and then St Kilda presented to him on an Instagram burner because they couldn't
Seriously?
legally do it. Yes.
That's what we've been doing with Nats.
Cooper's burner.
Please stay, please
St
stay.
Kilda VFL. I'd watch that if I was Instagram. They might
Yeah.
have some presentations on it from some
Start
people.
messaging Naz. You're never playing here. You're never playing here.
I just send him a
Never
port
do that.
logo and nah.
But I think it's time for
We're back.
Cooper's Niche Connections.
Cooper's Niche
it's
Connections.
returned.
The
Somehow.
most loved segment in the podcast. Obviously, I saw one comment about it. Somebody loved it really well. So I'm going to start with a couple of double ups to start us off. We've got
Okay.
Zach Dawson. He played, I think,
Are we
Two-
rating the players again?
yeah, 2 games. Hawthorn,
He
maybe.
gets
If
a
that.
2 out of 10 for
Yeah,
that.
2 out of 10.
Brad Hill.
Gets an
8 out of 10.
8.3
Won
out of
3
10.
premierships.
Nah,
there.
these-
No, I'll just give him an 8 out of 10.
Now, this is where it gets really niche.
Yeah.
Brent Guerra.
Okay. No
Played
idea
for
who that
Port,
is.
St Kilda, and Hawthorn. Obviously, won a premiership with Hawthorn. Cost us a premiership in himself because he couldn't kick a goal in 2004 prelim.
The fact that he's cost us a premiership, it's going to have to be a 0.
4 out of 10.
Shane Savage.
10 out of 10 for that one goal in that.
Yeah, the Richmond
semi-final for
final.
Richmond.
Yep, 10
Yes.
out of 10.
Was he
Goated.
stiff to get delisted?
No, he wasn't back
I
then.
think he was
Nah.
shot, and there was a rumor that he got GWS. Never actually happened, obviously. Ben McAvoy.
7 out of 10.
Ooh, it's a 10 out of 10 at Hawthorn, but it's probably a 3 because he went there and won 3 premierships for us.
He
So
played in a grand final for us. I think he played in a
Yeah.
draw and then got dropped.
I'll give him a 3.
Now we've got one who played for both, and we both unfortunately missed out on his son. Any guesses?
Both missed out on his son. When was his son drafted?
2018.
Jeez.
High pick. Gun. One of the best mids in the
Oh,
comp.
Noah Anderson's
Yes. Dean Anderson, both played for St Kilda and Hawks. I think we were both about 20 games off. Played
Yeah.
for 80, I reckon, both.
dad. Give him that.
Okay.
Give it a 0 because his son
Yeah.
didn't play for us.
Yep.
Give us a 0 on our
Jeez.
team list.
And you know what's ridiculous? That theoretically, because Anderson and Rao, that's the reason they both got to Gold Coast is the AFL weren't allowing one of them. They gave them the second overall pick.
Yes.
Imagine they both came to us because it was the same thing. They wanted to play together.
Well, did you hear the
Could've been
Anderson's
ridiculous.
the Rouse stuff that came out during the week?
I can confirm that is bullshit.
Yep, you can confirm.
Yes. That is not true.
That is just John Ralph dribble.
I just want to. I might say how we confirmed it, or what are we doing? But we've offered 1.7 to TDK, which is front ended, so will probably be more. We've offered probably a 1.1 to Nas.
Probably
Alir's
more.
been offered. Bergman's been offered.
Yeah,
Where's the 2 mil that we're
That-
offering Rao?
that is fair.
You can't just offer players and then go, oh, sorry, we'd rather Rao now. There goes your contract.
Yeah.
Because then the player management will never work for you guys again. You're
Yeah.
dogging their players. So that can't be true.
That
We
is
might have
true.
had talks saying, oh, this is how much cap room we have. But there's no way we've offered them 2 mil a season to come
I
play
think,
for us.
well, the important part was that he saw the vision. That was the important bit that I
Yeah,
read.
we'll get him in 2 years when we
Yeah.
have the money. But
Mate,
right now,
him, Bergman, mate, they're all coming in 2 years'
yes,
time.
when we're good. And watch us, we'll win the flag.
Can't wait for Geelong to get every single player that's ever been.
Okay,
mentioned.
where was I? We're going through them. All right.
Anderson.
Now, this is one that Bem didn't know before the show that Will had to look up. Little small forward Darren Minchington.
Yep.
Played 28 games for St Kilda, 4 for Hawthorn. Never played a win for Hawthorn.
I remember the name. I feel like he played more than 28 games for us. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to remember why I remember him.
He played well in that 2016. I reckon he kicked a goal. He's like Nathan Wright territory of players.
Jeez.
Have I forgotten anybody?
Ridiculous.
No other St Kilda Hawthorn players?
Don't think so.
No, don't
Jeez,
want
I've
to.
looked up Darren Minchington clip,
wanna-
and the first thing I see is him in a sandy jumper.
Go Zebs.
Yeah, go Zebs.
Is there anyone else?
Anybody else?
Don't think so.
Yeah, I think
James Frawley?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
one.
that is a
Nice
good
one.
one. Yep.
No other backman I can think of.
Nah,
Not that I know of.
nah. Alix Tauru.
No. All right.
That's
That's.
that number's getting to me. What?
Jeez, must be a fucking shit player that we're thinking
I
of.
think there was some overrated,
Must have
overpaid
given
player.
up like 6 goals to Collingwood or something.
Jamie
Yeah.
Elliott. Mate, he's
Must have.
36. What are you doing?
Jeez. Oh well.
But,
Yeah. So
yeah. Cooper's niche connections.
fuck whoever that guy was. who we were
Drop
trying to
drop
think of.
yours in the comments. Who we forgot.
Yes.
Oh, Everett.
Oh yes.
Did you
I
bring
was
up
gonna.
Everett?
I was gonna say him, but it was past our time. Like,
That's fair.
Yeah,
So
none
I
of us
didn't-
were
I
alive
didn't-
back then.
yes. So I didn't say him, but he was on my mind. Spud Frawley. Not Spud Frawley. James Frawley was though.
That
yes.
is that is a very good one.
Yes.
There's another one I'm sort of thinking of, but I can't get off the top of my head. But I think it's time for the predictions for round 17.
Did you have Brad Hill in that?
Yes.
you did.
yes,
No, there's a double at the
yeah,
start.
Yeah.
And Zach. Or maybe,
Jeez,
I don't know.
how good was Frawley for us? Do you remember that Fracky match against Carlton when he
No.
did his hammy and like
Nah.
he did his hammy and like he was walking off and some idiot kicked it to him and he like marked it and had to kick again.
Oh,
Mate, that was great times. That
Yeah.
2021.
2021. Sean McKernan.
Paul Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Season. Remember? When
He is one of my most hated players ever.
He is. Like,
I could not stand him.
oh, remember when we were going to get Tom Lynch and Daniel Talia that year as well?
Were we?
Yeah.
Oh, yuck.
Jeez, we would have
Let's
won the
please
Premier.
move
Right.
on. I don't want to hear that.
Ryan
ever
Abbott in
again.
2020. He played one game.
Sam Rowe in 2019 played one game.
Yeah, he played his 100th. Because he guessed a bird or something, I remember. That's,
What?
yeah, that was the thing. I don't know. It was
I
like
don't know what you're talking about there.
It'll be on. Somebody will find it. Social media. It was like guess the bird and you can debut. That was the whole thing.
Onto the predictions.
Cooper's
Cooper.
niche connections.
It is a good
Look at
segment.
how much doors it opens. We're talking about a bird, apparently.
I know. But yeah, how about you give us your bold prediction?
My bold prediction for this game. All right. My bold prediction or my actual prediction first?
Why not
Both.
both? Why not both?
All right. St Kilda win this by 7 points in a close game. I think we're due to win one. We've played really well the last 2 weeks. I think our boy, number 26, the best 26 we've had in the last 5 years, takes a Mark of the Year contender.
Wow.
And
Jeez.
some back pocket that's overpaid, over everything, overrated, just sucks, I reckon. Gets cheap
I'm
touches.
just trying to remember his name.
I don't actually care what his name is.
I can't even Jack something.
Yeah, Jack Biddle
Yeah.
or something.
When he got drafted, that was probably the most names I've ever seen on an AFL list. Jack.
Well, are
Like,
you
seriously.
talking about that fabled forward we drafted in 2017 or something?
Yeah, that one.
Maybe.
Couldn't
maybe.
play forward. Couldn't
We
play.
tried moving him back and
Couldn't even
Played
play
him on the wing for a couple of years.
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember
Just couldn't
20,
find his spot.
2020 lockdown, Nick Haynes for a game.
Couldn't kick straight in the semi. Probably costed us, but
Yeah, but
I forget his name.
what about you, Ben? What have you gone with?
Got Saints by 26.
Gee, so
Jeez.
I've read this. He's basically just copied me, by the way.
You both.
But go on.
Thanks. I had this literally 2 hours ago in a recording.
Doubt
But
it. Go on.
Saints by 26. Taru
Our
wins the Rising Star nomination for round 17.
Reach.
Yeah, he's so good. That's all I have
Yep.
to say.
When was the last time we all picked St Kilda to win? It's been a while.
Never.
Yeah. it's
Probably the West Coast game.
Yeah.
No, I had West Coast winning.
Oh, you did too. Yeah.
Maybe the Carlton game.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
shout.
we're back.
Yeah.
All right. So I've gone Saints by 33 for Ben Patton. Love that guy. Wish he was still around.
Yes.
2020 was like the greatest lockdown small defender. And
Actually was. That's the thing.
and Tauru will get 22 spoils
And breaks the
and breaks
record.
the record.
Over another Hawthorn player, actually.
Yeah, Josh
Well,
Gibson.
We'll never
That
forget
could be a
Jared
niche thing.
Ruffin
Josh.
breaking Patton's leg.
Jeez, Josh. Hawks back
Nah, I
line.
don't know.
Sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for episode 13. Been some great segments on this one.
Cruise Niche Connections, here to stay, I think.
I do think it's here. I'm not sure about Bem's Sinners of the Week.
That's done.
The Caroline Wilson one was a good laugh. But yeah, I think that's it for episode 13.
Fuck Hawthorn, fuck Josh Battle. That's
Yep.
all I got to say.
If you want to join us through memberships to help support us, subscribe on YouTube, like 5 stars on Spotify, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And hopefully, episode 14 is titled Naz is re-signed.
Yes.
My happiness is back. Thank you.